everyone, welcome back to Pommy and Oz. Hope we're all doing really well. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And some of you have gone a step further, which you all can do. It is only a cup of coffee. Become a member of the channel. We do all sorts of stuff here, private lives. You get early access to the videos and all that malarkey. So if that is something that you're interested in doing and helping the channel out, please do that. Link is in the description. And we're back here again with another off-season review. And we're here with Fremantle, the Purple Peril, as we affectionately know them as. And they were a side that I was really looking at in this off-season, who I thought had a lot of work to do and really had to get really proactive with very poor picks and a lot of work to do. And obviously, they let Eric Benning go, Travis Collier, he went, Joe Hamlin left them, Liam Henry and Lockie Schultz left on trades, and Nathan Wilson was delisted. And with not great picks heading into the draft, you were really looking at them here thinking, Jeeps, they really need a massive rebuild. They really need to get something going and get outside of the square and make something happen. And ultimately, I am actually very impressed with their turnaround. I was very impressed with their acquisitions, and I thought that their draft period was nothing short of remarkable, really. I think they've nailed it and got some very good players at very good value. And we start off with friend of the channel, good friend of mine and yours, Cooper Simpson, the co-captain of Dandenong Stingrays, 181 and 79 kegs. And this kid impresses me, and I think he's a top 10 player. I'm going to say that now. If it wasn't for the crippling contact injuries that he had, the corkies, this kid here would have flown. He is as close to the complete player that you see. And the fact that he got taken where he did is really, really a huge bargain for Fremantle. We played the 8 games. This was for Dandenong, 21.5 touches, 3.9 marks, 3.4 tackles and a goal a game. And the big thing about him is, for me, he's like a clone of Fife in the terms of his character. He's very family orientated, very club orientated. He's already declared he's a one-club player. And he's learning off, for me, arguably one of the best midfielders in the modern era to play the game in that Fife. Incredibly underrated. This guy here, his ability to work around traffic, his delivery inside 50, his turn of pace, and his ability to hit the scoreboard makes that midfield incredibly exciting. And I think he'll get his opportunities mid-year. And I think when he gets in the team, he ain't getting out of it. And in my opinion, I think Jaeger's been a bit disappointing. That Fife ain't going to be around forever. I suspect this is his last year. I think there's an opportunity there for Cooper, and working with Sarong and Brayshaw, wow, he's one hell of a player. Great get for the Dockers. Can't wait to see him out there. Up next is Ollie Murphy. Now, we know that this guy's combine let him down, but there is no getting away from Ollie Murphy. He's the MVP of Vic Metro's side for a reason. This guy looked unbeatable at times one-on-one, and his ability to launch from the back half of the ground was insane. And I think, again, the key PD at Fremantle is up for grabs apart from Piercy. And I think playing Ollie along with Pierce, who himself is someone that's really, really a student of the game, he's going to pay them back in droves. The 4 games this year for the Metro, with 11.3 touches, 4.5 marks, and an incredible 78% disposal efficiency with 4 rebound 50s. He is probably close to one of the best kicks in the key position in this draft. His ability to intercept and piggle off his man, his read of the ball in flight is impeccable. All that he's lacking is a little bit of mama's steak and kidney pie. Give him a few of them and he'll be right. I don't think we'll see him this year, but I do think that this is something to be incredibly excited about moving into 2025. And I'm a big fan, and I'll be keeping an eye on him in the waffle, because again, I feel like a lot of teams have made a mistake because they put so much onus on that walk through the door mentality of the combine. A lot was made out in this draft on goal kicking forwards. We heard it all. And a lot of them went under the radar. You had Collard at St Kilda, but equally as dangerous is Jack Deline. The big knock on him is him finding the ball. And as you can see, 5.8 touches for South Australia out of the 4 games. 1 mark, 70% efficiency, but 2.3 goals. This guy is a kick machine. And output for me is much more important than accumulation. He ain't the quickest guy you'll see on the field, but what he does have is he's fast up here. When you're fast up here, that's all that matters. 185 and 75 kegs. Can play also that kind of like hybrid oversized player. Incredibly good though when the ball hits the deck, and incredibly good in front of the sticks. Jack Deline is a 30 goal a year player in the making, and this is a risk-free acquisition, and this just really added the cream on the crop for me. With bearing in mind, if you did a rating on picks versus where they were and actually what they got, for me, Fremantle won this draft period by a long way. It ain't even close. And you can keep your Gold Coast and your Norths and malarkey. They nailed it with what they got. Absolutely nailed it. Jack Deline is a ready-made player, and he will get game time in 2025. And they finished with young Odin Jones, which was a surprise, but they were linked to a ruckman. Obviously, they've got Darcy. Obviously, they've got Jackson. And this guy here is somewhere in the middle. Incredibly, his work rate is what really stands out, and his ability to work behind the ball. He really did showcase that for WA and also West Perth. And this year, you look in the Colts, 9 games, 15.7 touches, 3.5 marks, 2.7 tackles, 18.1 hitouts. He's really industrious. And it gives me shades of Sunderland's. You know how Sunderland's used to work incredibly hard. At 199 and 96 kegs, you're already halfway there, aren't you? And this is something that he's going to have to improve. Obviously, nowadays, everyone is athletic and agile. And probably a ready-made replacement for Sean Darcy. Now, Darcy looks to have signed a new deal. I still think there's contract value there if you get a replacement to play 2 rucks, because I think Jackson's best work is always going to be rucks floating forward. This could be a little smoky. They lost Benning. They got rid of him. This could be a real shrewd move that pays out in 2 years' time, because people are always going to pay overs for Darcy. And with a plethora of picks next year, you never know. Never say never. I like that pickup there. Oscar McDonald finds another AFL club, former Carlton man. I love Oscar, and I'm so glad to see him back on the list, because obviously his back injury is the reason we got rid of him. And he has flown this year in the 20 games he's played at VFL for Williamstown. And a big aspect for me with Oscar is his improvement at his age. He's insane. 16.8 disposals, 8.1 marks, 5.8 rebound 50s, 1.2 tackles a game. Really been that conduit down the back and setting up score launch after score launch for Werribee and for Williamstown. 196, 100 kegs. He's ready to play. He definitely fills a hole. I think he's everything that you guys lack at Fremantle. I love this acquisition because, in my opinion, he's top 10 in the league if he can stay fit. I think he proved that at Carlton, and he showed glimmers of it at Melbourne. But I really do have huge raps on this guy. I think he's a terrific footballer, and one that I'm really excited about seeing what happens down Fremantle way. Jeremy Sharp, the winger who can play a little bit on the ball and across half forward, never really got going at Gold Coast, and we can see his AFL career, 23 games, 9.4 touches, 2.7 marks, 1.7 score involvements, and just under 280 metres gained. At 189, 81 kegs, it's really now or never, and I feel like this is an area here with Hayden Young going more into the midfield. I feel like James Aish is kind of that temporary hybrid there type player. I feel like there's a role here to snag on the wing, really take it down. And I think Jeremy Sharp needs to change the scenery. He's back home, comfortable area. You're going to look after him. And I feel like there's a lot of upside with Jeremy Sharp. He showed it in glimpses at the start of his career, how dangerous he can be and how direct he is. And I feel like at times when I watch Fremantle, it's a bit like watching someone paint your wall. You're going to appreciate it in time, but at the point of watching it, you're bored out of your mind. And I feel like Jeremy Sharp can be a really good player. If he can get happy, a bit of care, a bit of love, I feel like he's good. And I feel like your coach, JL, has to instill that. There needs to be that next layer. It feels like no disrespect to JL, but he's an incredibly organised, more boring version of Ross the Boss. And I feel like there's something in there, a bit more direct game plan, a bit more excitement. And he's going to have to get it out because I feel like they're all under the cosh, but no one expects anything of everyone. And Jeremy Sharp is that kind of second chance player that finds a return home and flies. And he's got Liam Henry's role to fill. And I feel like, honestly, pound for pound, I'd rather have Jeremy Sharp there. He's just got to get right and get right mentally and on the paddock, and he should be a good player. I like that get. And then we finish with someone to look ahead to next year. And currently you own Collingwood's first, Port's first, your own second. St Kilda's second and St Kilda's fourth. You've got a lot of picks this time next year. And looking at the guys that you might be looking at, I feel like Sid Draper's one that you guys would taste at. He's definitely going to be inside the top 3 players taken, even potentially number 1. And Sid Draper is combative. He's dangerous. He's a contested beast, but he also gets on the outside and penetrates inside 50 hard. He's a ball accumulator. And I feel like when I look at it, you've got the people to get it out of there. You really lack that real modern-day version of Jaeger. Jaeger's very one-dimensional in what he does. Sid Draper is that 2024 version of what you're looking at. And he's one that, if I were you guys and girls, I'd really be checking his Sandful results, because he'll play senior Sandful, and also check him out in the under 18s games, because he's been pretty solid this year as an underager. Someone to really look out for. And this is your best 22 we've gone with. It's really hard because I've tried to keep in mind that you're going to start phasing the older players out. I feel like this is the year to do it. We've gone Piercy, Chapman, Clark, Ryan and Young. There's a caveat with Young. I feel like he'll play midfield time, but I get the impression that you're going to swing A sharp off that half-back line and get a rotation going there like the modern-day teams. Centre-half back, I've gone with Oscar McDonald, and I feel like he's going to hold that role until Ollie Murphy is ready to shine. Aishi and Sharpie on the wing with Brayshaw in the middle. Half forward, I think this is flying here. You've got Fredericks and Walters. Switkowski and Deline, I'm going with my forward pockets. Lou Jackson and Jaya Miss. No place for Taberner in this. I feel like he may be one who's on the outer. Darcy, I'm going to back Will Brodie. He didn't set the world alight in Waffle, but you've re-signed him. I feel like this is the year now. Knock Jaeger out of there with Caleb Sarong. He is a modern-day inside midfielder, Will Brodie, so he needs that time. Then I've got Neil Erasmus, Brandon Walker, which allows that rotation in the midfield. Brennan Cox, which allows that forward and back half rotation. And Cooper Simpson makes the team here, displacing Nat Fife. But they're the guys, a lot of players, though, to look out for. And a lot of youth up that end, so really stay tuned for that. It could be a really exciting time, and I wish you all the best of luck. But that is the Fremantle review. Let me know, Dockers fans. Big shout out to my mate Damo, who is one of the best Fremantle men that I know. Much love to you, my friend, and a shout out to the Freo podcast, the Dockers. Much love to you guys. See you next time. Palm out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.